At least so far we've been really lucky. I wasn't expecting all these trails to be so well maintained.
Good morning.
We had a relatively nice night last night. I had a little bit of trouble sleeping because of the flapping, just kind of a quirk of that particular tent. It was also noticeably warmer to the point where we were using our sleeping bags as quilts instead of mummy bags. We do expect that to continue. Last I saw when we went in, we were heading into extreme heat warnings down in the Central Valley, and we're going to be getting down into the 3000s here. So we are actively working to do as much of the lower bits as we can early in the morning or later in the day. Obviously, Jen and I have done some hiking in some pretty extreme heat. We don't have to deal with humidity or anything here, but it is always something to be cautious with, especially in areas like up ahead where the water situation might be a little shakier. We don't normally have heat worries in the Sierra. We come up here in the summer to get away from the heat, but most of the time you're up, the east side trailheads start at like 6,000 feet, and you drop a couple of degrees every 1,000 feet you climb. I am still mostly holding up, usual kind of twinges around my pack, and my feet are taking a beating. I generally like to do trips like this that are, 4 or 5 plus days as a prep for a through hike, just because if I'm out for a day or two, like for that PCT thing, yeah, I got some exercise, I got a little sore, but it was mostly like recover off trail. Longer things on trail forces you to kind of deal with all the aches and pains while out here, which is very much the reality of through hiking, at least for me. See the deer, Blondie? Look at all the bugs. Okay, so that worked out. The pretty part of Falls Canyon that we remember was the upper part.
Yeah, not too many camps. I'm glad we stayed where we did last night.
Yeah.
Waterfall camp.
You look happy.
Really happy.
I could use a drink.
Cool.
I was pretty sure that was smoke, and yeah, sure enough. Don't know which fire it's from, but not our problem for now. There's a full-on CCC crew up here. At least so far we've been really lucky. I wasn't expecting all these trails to be so well maintained. Not only was the trail in really good shape through here, other than being a bit brushy, but there were so many flowers that Blondie was basically overwhelmed with happiness. Not that she was talking on video about it. So the last couple of water sources we were kind of hoping to fill at have been dry. We saw a couple of ponds, but we thought we'd get flowing water. So we don't have a ton on us, but we'll see. Okay, and that green bit down there is probably Tiltil Meadows, and then water further back is Hetch Hetchy. Okay, steep descent. We're now in Tiltil Meadow. Our highest priority at this point is finding water. So the map I had showed a stream and a designated campsite over here, so we're going to fill up water before pushing over to Hetch Hetchies. And finally. So we're here near the entrance to the Tiltil camping area. We have been hydrating our butt off and cooling off and missing the hottest part of the day, so we're both feeling better. We've got about another 2.5 miles to go and another 1,000 feet down. So we have to backtrack half a mile, go up and over a little thing, and then down steep switchbacks again. So, woo! The fun one is going to be tomorrow, though. We're talking about leaving camp at 5 a.m. to try and get through the low section around Hetch Hetchy and then hopefully get up towards Lake Elnor before the temperatures spike too much. Okay, and after sitting around for over an hour and drinking something like 3 or 4 liters of water, we are doing a little bit better and we are going to limp on to camp. So obviously we do have a fire somewhere in this general area, but the smoke spreads pretty far. I've been through this in a lot of different seasons. It is unpleasant, but not something we really worry about. And we were kind of afraid of this. We thought we might not be alone here. We might have to get creative. So this is Rancheria Creek. There are a lot of people around here, and there are some flags that maybe I don't want to be camped too close to the bear issues or whatnot, so we are currently wandering around trying to find something. So the campground was filled with some rather large and loud groups. There were some sites there, but there were fire pits full of trash. There was toilet paper everywhere. There were cat holes behind the one site we found, like not well covered ones at all. So we are currently trying to disperse camp a ways off. Home sweet home. That works. Obviously an established spot.
Once again, we are lucky enough to be camping within earshot of a waterfall, just not quite within view of it. This is the Rancheria Falls, And this won't even be our last waterfall of the trip. We should have at least one more tomorrow, Wapama Falls. We get to cross tomorrow and we're fairly sure that one should be running. After examining the maps closer, we've become skeptical that Tuilala Falls even exists, or if it does exist, maybe it's not flowing or not visible from the trail. We'll see about that one, but should be at least one more tomorrow. Although this is a really popular campsite, there's at least 7 other parties or so set up in the area. Matt had the good idea to cross the river, and there's been no one on this side of the river.
There was, however, uncovered toilet paper and things like that around.
So we found a cozy private spot within earshot of the waterfall. Home sweet home for the night.